Got milk? Glad we're recording this. I picked up the part where we're upside down. Oh well. This is the ThinkFast Nerdcast, and we're finally in the nerd portion. So, my name is Chris.
And I'm Sai.
Thank you for being with us. So, a couple of topics that we have this week. Lots of nerd news. Top of the list, we have the new Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes. I'm excited.
I am also excited. I'm one of those people. You don't hear a lot of people talking about Ant-Man.
No.
I really enjoyed the first movie. I think
Yep.
I was a little bit hesitant about Paul Rudd, but I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, I personally really like Paul Rudd. I think he's really funny. Just his face. He's so...
Yeah.
But I'm actually really excited about this movie. It's coming out. It's kind of... I feel like it's sandwiched. Rather, not sandwiched, but there's so many other Marvel movies coming out that people are into, like Deadpool, Avengers, that not many people are talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I'm excited for this movie. I think the first one was great. I think it was the first humor-based superhero movie. Again, it was before Deadpool came out, so I really liked the first one. I saw it on my birthday because it came around the same time. This one also came around the same time around my birthday. So,
yeah.
Maybe I can find a babysitter, but whatever.
So it looks actually quite good. I love Paul Rudd in the role. I like that Evangeline Lilly is taking up more of an active role this time around as the Wasp, and I think Michael Douglas in this movie was perfectly cast. Like I love him as Hank
Pym. I love the effects of the first one too, the way he would shrink, and I loved how in the Avengers movie he grew huge and giant man. So this one's really exciting. I love the effects. I love the way they've done Ant-Man like as a character.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I love the shot of the trailer when they shrink the entire building into a suitcase.
And they just take it away and carry on.
I love that. That was fantastic. Oh, and when they make the big Pez dispenser.
Yeah. In the first one, I like when he's trying to train to be Ant-Man, he's running with a bunch of ants.
Yeah.
And he's like getting a chummy with the one that flies. He names them and everything. It's just so funny. I thought it was really cute.
And I love when I think there was a part in the movie where he's like running at the door, like to try and train himself to like shrink and jump through the wall. Yeah,
he's just crashing the door. I'm really interested to know where this falls in the timeline.
Yeah. So that's a great question. It's after Civil War for sure.
Okay.
Because during Civil War is when he got locked up. Yeah. And at the end of Civil War, they broke him out.
Right.
So,
and then Infinity War, I would assume it is after, just because it's coming out later. But
that's interesting. I'm not sure when Ant-Man falls into the timeline of Infinity War. I guess we'll have to see Infinity War to see if he factors in at all, because we know if he's in Infinity War, then perhaps it takes place afterwards.
Do we know exactly where the first one was? Like, was there already Captain America and Iron Man happening
in Ant-Man, the first one?
They don't really reference a point, do they?
So the first Ant-Man took place.
Well, actually, no. He fights the Falcon.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So it takes place between Avengers 2 and Civil War.
Okay. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because he tries to infiltrate the Avengers. Okay, I remember. Yeah. Never mind. Answered my own question. Fantastic. Love it when I do that.
And so in this case, one of the interesting things in the horizon in terms of Marvel films is the whole Disney and Fox buyout.
Yeah.
Which means that we may get to see the X-Men officially finally cross over with the Avengers and people of that like.
Oh, that has been a missing link for the longest time. I just couldn't wrap my head around it that there's Avengers happening.
Yeah.
Because Wolverine was a big part of it, like the X-Men played a huge role in
Spider-Man was also.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they finally brought Spider-Man into the picture, but now I can't wait for when like Cyclops and Storm and Wolverine, because they were active members in Civil War and all that, like they were there. Yep. So Fantastic Four
it's got such a bad history, unfortunately.
In the Civil War comic book era, the Fantastic Four were a huge part as well. They get divided, so It's
Yeah.
Thing and Johnny Storm versus Reed and Sue, who, I think Thing and Johnny Storm are against registration, and the other ones are for it.
Yeah.
So there's a huge divide in them, and that's kind of like an arc within the Civil War part to show how heroes are falling apart.
So, what's his name? Mr. Fantastic.
Reed Richards.
Yes, he actually helps Tony Stark create
the legislation. Or
yes,
whatever it is.
and the negative zone prison to
Yeah.
send people who won't register
Yeah.
and villains. So that's why Sue leaves, because she's like, this is bullshit. Like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Like, and so I never really asked you, like, where do you fall on the whole pro registration or anti registration?
Ooh.
This is a real political debate.
So okay, if I was a superhero,
Yeah.
right, I would go pro.
Really?
Just because when you're fighting a government, like, I mean,
Yeah.
your whole purpose is to be the man of the people or the woman of the people, right? So if the people are saying go register yourself, and then if you don't, you're kind of going against the whole idea of you. If you're an anti-hero,
Yeah.
then do whatever the hell you want. If you're a Deadpool Punisher where you kind of play by your own rules, by all means, do whatever you want. But
And it's funny because during Civil War, Punisher actually tried to help out the anti-registration movement.
Yeah.
But they kicked him out because he was a fucking murderer.
yeah, they're just like,
they're like, that's okay. We don't need your help.
I'm glad you're with us on that part of the
But
page, but the rest of the book is different. So,
so
please
it's
leave.
interesting. So you would be Iron Man, then I would definitely be Captain America because I'm on the side of anti-registration.
Yeah.
I do believe that with great power comes great responsibility. So
Good one, Ben.
You are you are accountable, and you should be accountable for your actions. But I don't believe that you should have to register and display your secret identity, because that puts all of your family, all of your friends, anyone that you know at risk. And I don't agree with that. And that's exactly what happened with Spider-Man in the comics, is that he revealed his identity to everyone, and someone shot Aunt May.
Yeah.
And he had to make a deal with Mephisto to bring Aunt May back to life. Yeah. And by bringing Aunt May back to life, what Mephisto's deal was he had to undo married Mary Jane. Mm-hmm. They were never a couple, and he had to give all of that up to bring Aunt May back to life.
Because that's what Mephisto wanted. He's like, you can't be happy.
Yeah, he's a demon, so obviously he's going to give you a shit deal.
Yeah. And that's, but the funny thing about that is it's ironic that the people who actually have family, like Captain America, is more or less frozen in time, so he comes back to where everybody, like,
and all his family's dead because he's like 200 years later.
Iron Man has his assistant / spouse, right?
Pepper Potts.
Spider-Man has Aunt May and Mary Jane, so yet they still register, right?
Yeah.
So I find the people who actually have family registered, and the people that don't really have family are like, I don't want to register. It's like, why? Who are you protecting?
But the thing with Tony Stark is that he doesn't really have family. All the Starks are dead, other than
Pepper Potts.
Yeah, like
that's the only person. She's not Stark. She's just his love interest,
but
right?
like that's the only person he really had. And if I'm not mistaken, she lived in Stark Tower, or Avengers Tower, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So he can always keep a close eye on her. But like Iron Man never really had family, and I mean, Thor I know was anti-registration as well. So
it's not like Asgard needs to worry about assassins coming up, right?
Exactly. So they actually built a Thor robot to take his place because he refused to involve himself in the conflict, and the Thor robot went crazy and started killing people. But
very nice.
That was a whole thing. But no, it was a very interesting debate, because do you remember how Civil War started in the comics?
Not how it started, no.
Okay, so what happened was there was a character named Speedball.
Oh, yes, okay.
And Speedball was, if I'm not mistaken, a member of the New Avengers. And Speedball was doing a reality TV show where they would follow him around, and he would stop people from doing bad shit.
So he's a crime fighter on TV.
Exactly. So they had this whole reality show, like Cops style. Yeah. And he went to this town where
it was like a suburb as well. Like
it was a suburb, and there was supposed to be some bad guys hiding out there. One of which was called Nitro. Yeah. So they caught all these people. They cornered them. A fight broke out, And Nitro's power is that he can explode on command. Like he absorbs energy and then he explodes and then he reconstitutes himself together, and he always survives. So they got into a fight and Nitro blew up. And he blew up with such force that in the middle of the city,
took out a lot of civilians
and children. He blew up essentially a school where a bunch of children were playing, and massive amounts of casualties. So Tony Stark, after seeing that, and after the government stepping in and saying, mutants are out of control, superheroes are out of control, they need to have some kind of accountability, we need to stop this kind of thing from happening, and that's what caused the Superhero Registration Act to come into place, and Wolverine got involved, and the X-Men got involved. It was a huge storyline that crossed over so many different places. But it was really, I feel like it was really well handled. It was really topical, the whole political debate.
It was an interesting concept too, right?
The
whole but yeah, I think I would still be pro registration.
You still?
Yeah, Spider-Man did it, so.
Yeah, but he regretted it in the end.
Yeah, he did.
But either way, and Captain America, spoiler alert, Captain America got killed at the end of Civil War, so it didn't really work out too well for him either. But yeah, so that was a big thing. I'm so super pumped for the upcoming Avengers movie as well. But again, Ant-Man, super hype. Really excited to see what they do with this one.
Really interesting.
I'm hoping they definitely get a third movie as well. But
I don't ever think it'll make the rank. Like, Ant-Man 1 was a one-time watch for me, though. Like, it was fantastic. It was amazing. Anybody who's into comic books, I'd be like, go watch it. But it's the movie. I haven't rewatched it.
No, I haven't either.
I don't intend to. Like, I will just kind of, before I do.
Yeah, I think I will before I watch the second one.
Like, if I did an Avengers marathon, I would include it in the list. But I haven't seen it yet. So it's a one-time watch for sure, but I know it's a fun movie to watch. So I feel the same way about this one. I won't feel like I'll miss out anything major if I don't watch it, but I feel like if I watch it, it'll be really fun to watch. So I will watch it, and I'll do it in theaters because I know if I do it in DVD or on TV, it's not going to be as fun. So.
Yeah, and that was my big mistake, is that I only watched Avengers 1 in the theater. Avengers 2 and 3 I watched at home because no one would go with me. The people that I was talking to or whatever, like, they were either too busy or they already had plans to see it or whatever the case may be, or I was busy. I just never got around to it. But I saw the first Avengers in theaters and I loved it. I thought it was the most amazing superhero movie I had ever seen. And what I love about Marvel is their consistency, that they're not changing actors from movie to movie. Other than War Machine. But other than that, like, everyone's consistent and they come in and out of their own movies, and it's this whole interconnected world. And
that's pretty cool.
I just love that it's consistent, and that you'll see, like, Iron Man in the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man in the Civil War movie. Like, it feels like one big world.
And Ant-Man holds another special place because when I watched it in theaters, I watched it in downtown Toronto, the one that has the I forget what it's called, but it's like the luxury, whatever it is.
VIP.
So they gave me a menu to order from.
I
was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So that's just side topic.
Oh yeah, I love it.
I don't know if I'd do it again, though.
It is ridiculously expensive. It's like $35, and then on top of that, for the food that you're spending. So it's good for like date night or like anniversary or like some
experience,
special occasions. I love it. I personally. But it's like movie prices are getting insane. Like just $18 just to see a regular movie.
The other thing, I would want a waiter bringing me food midway into a movie. Like the thing with that is I would need to be watching like Lord of the Rings Director's Edition, like the 4-hour movie.
Oh my god!
Like then I'll be like, okay, I need all this luxury shit.
Did we talk about movies that we've fallen asleep? I feel like we did.
Because we've talked about movies we walked out on.
Oh, okay. Because I fell asleep in Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, the second one. Yeah. When they were walking through the forest with the talking trees, I was out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. Like, I love the first one. I remember loving the third one, but the second one, it was just a fucking grind, man. Like, I couldn't keep myself awake.
Yeah.
That and Reign of Fire, those are the only two movies I've ever fallen asleep during. But side topic. Anyways. But yeah, super hyped for Ant-Man. Love the Marvel Universe.
Wasp is cool.
Yeah.
She looks pretty cool.
Wasp is cool. She's not wearing the sexy outfit from the comics, but,
Well, good.
it is PG-13, so what are you going to do?
Like, I like the cool factor as well. Like, she looks badass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and she's got blasters. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So next up is the Gambit movie. So
that I don't know about. Tell me more about Gambit. He is my favorite X-Men.
yes, so the Gambit movie is in the works. Channing Tatum is the name that is attached at the moment.
I thought that was a rumor.
So
Like, I've heard it before, but I didn't know it was a real thing.
no, it's a real thing.
Oh,
They've
that's pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about Channing Tatum as Gambit though.
Yeah, it like mostly for me, it's about like his size, because Gambit, as we know him,
It's
is like a lean, tall
Yeah.
guy, not muscular or anything like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's Cajun, he's like a little white
Yeah.
dude, but
yeah. He's Cajun. Well, okay.
yeah,
Um,
he's from Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken.
oh, okay. Oh, I thought he was like Spanish.
No, he's French.
French.
Cajun. Yeah.
Okay.
Mon chéri.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So okay, I always liked Gambit. I think he was the coolest X-Men. The way that he was in the Wolverine movie,
Yes.
he was there, and I thought that was really cool the way they depicted him.
Yeah. Taylor Kitsch, I think.
Yeah, I didn't like the actor too much or anything. I just liked the effects that they had with his staff and his cards. So I thought that was really cool. So he looks more like the Mad Hatter,
Yeah.
the one in the Wolverine.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that the staff and the cards. So he doesn't wear a hat. The only thing with the Wolverine Gambit was that he wore a stupid hat.
And it's weird, like,
He wears a headband.
and because I loved the X-Men animated show version of Gambit, and the version that's in like X-Men versus Street Fighter and all that,
Yeah.
when he's got the weird like
Headband.
face
Mask, the
thing that
awkward
he has
mask.
on,
Yeah.
and the hair that's kind of like spiky and
Yep.
out. But they tried. I mean, they
Yeah,
tried a
they
lot of
tried.
things in the X-Men movie, to be honest.
They did.
Gambit, Deadpool, whatever the hell Will.i.am's character was supposed to be.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't even remember him really, but and so they tried a lot of things, not all of it stuck. I didn't really feel the character of Gambit either. It was kind of like a nice cameo, but
Yeah,
it
and
didn't really.
Yeah, the effects and everything was cool. The funny thing I find about Gambit is his obsession with cards and
Yeah.
gambling. Like, he has a really cool power. Like, if you read it, his whole power is that he can add kinetic energy to anything. So he can
Yep.
throw literally anything, and it'll kind of power up and explode upon contact. So
Yep.
the fact that he uses cards is kind of oxymoronic. Like, I would throw a chair or like something huge, like I mean,
Yeah.
something throwable, but like, yeah, I guess cards. But then cards make sense. They're great at ammo.
And
Right.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
you carry like 5 decks of cards on you, you're good. Like,
Yeah.
But and he's got the
But
stick, obviously.
Throwing a card with that much accuracy, I think that is a superpower in and of itself.
Yeah. Well, I think the energy kind of like helps.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Because it goes distances. Like,
Yeah.
the way he throws them, it just goes really far. I don't know if you've ever tried to throw a card, but
Oh, I've tried, but I haven't been successful.
if you put energy and explosive powers into it, maybe.
So Gambit movie is a thing. It is
Mhm,
happening. The
mhm.
latest news is that it's going to start shooting in July.
We might just see a trailer around that time.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm hoping, because
I believe.
I'm super psyched to
Yeah.
see, because like you always hear of an actor that's been cast in a role and you're like,
How's that gonna be?
I
How's that
don't
gonna
know.
look?
Yeah, because like when I first heard that Heath Ledger was going to be Joker, I was like,
Really? I was like, okay, this guy would be a good Joker.
I would know, because like nothing. What had Heath Ledger done up to that point that was like similar? You know,
Yeah,
like
true. But I always categorized him with like Johnny Depp. I don't know why.
he was very versatile. He did fit into a lot of roles.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw the first trailer for Dark Knight, I
Yeah.
was like,
He's
nailed
good.
it. Done.
Um,
I have to see this movie.
The other person I thought was spot on was Tony Stark's character, Robert Downey
Oh,
Jr. When I heard about that, I
yeah.
was like, yeah, okay,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's pretty good choice.
No
Casting
doubts.
choice.
Robert Downey Jr. is 100% what I picture when I picture Tony Stark.
Literally, yeah.
From the comics to the movies, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like, that's Tony Stark to me. It's gonna suck when like their contracts run out or he gets too old to do it or whatever.
I just
Because
wonder who will do it next.
yeah, because that's the perfect Tony Stark for me.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
and that's one of the things that I really have to give Marvel credit for. Everyone in the Marvel universe right now looks exactly how I would want, like how I would
Yeah.
picture them to look.
And
like
even Spider-Man, I like the.
oh, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yeah, Tom Holland's a good casting choice.
Bucky as Winter Soldier, I love
Chris
his
Evans,
actor. And Captain America, oh man, perfect casting for Captain America.
And Chris Hemsworth for Thor as well. Henry Cavill for Superman. When I heard about Henry Cavill, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. For sure. So. Now Ben Affleck for Batman. We already had a whole thing about that, so we'll get back into it.
Yay, Ben Affleck, because I like Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
I was like, should really be Superman. Batman.
I'm still not. Not my thing.
But I'm excited for Gambit. I think it's 2019.
So if we're starting film, I'm assuming it'll be sometime in 2019 because they usually don't film too long with these kinds of things.
Yeah, and I think because for 2019 they had a whole chart of timelines. I don't know if you've seen, like, they had this whole like
the
calendar that they
like
had.
phase 3 or whatever.
Yeah. So I think I saw it there at that point. I could be wrong, but I think it will be around 2019. So can't wait to find out more. I liked his relationship with Rogue. Yeah. In the animated series, just because I thought like it was kind of cute and funny at the same time. He was just like, I'll kill myself, whatever, just kiss me. He was so desperate. He's like, fuck it, I'll die. That's desperation in a nutshell. But I like Gambit. He's cool.
Oh yeah, and that's part of the reason why Rogue always was wearing gloves in the fucking animated series, because couldn't even touch anyone. But and so it's interesting. So there was one storyline in both the comics and the animated show where people were going to get their powers removed. Oh, and it was actually, I think, in was it the second X-Men movie or the third X-Men movie? One of them. That
they get their powers removed. They have a vaccine or something. Yes. And that was a huge arc in the X-Men comics as well, that anti-mutant or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but like that vaccine. So
Rogue wanted to do that because obviously she wanted to be with Gambit. And
that was X-Men's version of like pro or anti registration. They had as the X-Men, they had a little bit of falling out between half the members wanting to be human again. I'm not sure if Beast was one of them because he didn't want to be blue anymore.
Oh yeah, and him I can understand. Like if I would want it to be normal too.
Again. Same with Nightcrawler. I would want to be normal. I would not want to be normal if I was Mystique. If I had a power,
that's
I'd be like,
awesome.
Yeah, I would never want to be normal.
Because you could just be normal whenever you want.
Yeah. And Wolverine as well. His powers are awesome. He can't die.
I know. Well, I mean, he can. It's just gonna take a really long time.
Will kill him. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was like 100. Was he 200 years old or 300 years old, something like that? Because he's been through World War I, World War II, and all those wars in between. So he's at least over 100 years old.
Yeah, but then with Wolverine, your main foe can control metal. Like your biggest enemy can control metal. So I would be like, okay, I'm better off just taking a butcher knife and running at him. I'd be more effective than if I was made out of metal. So,
and I mean, in the end, the adamantium is what killed him, anyways, right? Because it is poisonous to him, and as he got older, his healing factor decreased. Yeah. So the adamantium started to poison him over time.
Is that what happens in Logan, or no? I think
that's what happens in Logan.
What it is? Okay.
Yeah, because his.
But does he take anti-mutant thing, whatever? No. Okay.
No.
All right.
He's just his healing factor wears down over time.
Right.
So it can't
stops healing. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's continually trying to heal and fight the poison of the adamantium, similar to Deadpool.
Yeah. It's cancer. Right?
Yeah. So and then it just can't fight anymore. So it's slowly killing him, and that's why he's having problems healing. Yeah. When he gets shot or stabbed or whatever, and then like his knuckles when all the pus was coming out.
It was a good movie though.
Oh, I like Logan. I loved Logan. Yeah. Like I was a little bit, like apprehensive before the movie came out because I was like, okay, they're doing an R-rated Wolverine movie, which is what everyone's been dying to see. They have to do it right. Yeah. I saw it twice in theaters. It was so amazing. Wow. I loved it.
It was touching.
It was. And
it was very touching.
In the first 5 minutes of the movie, I was already like, this is everything I want from a Wolverine movie. Like, he gets out of the limo, and those guys come up with the pipe, and they try to attack him, and he's, like, slicing through their arms and, like, their stomachs and stuff. Like, this is what I wanted to see in X-Men, but it was PG-13. Yeah. So I loved that, and I loved that they had Professor X in it, and it was so sad, his role. Yeah. Like, he was an old man. He didn't even know what was going on.
He didn't have, I think he, like, amnesia or something like that, or he couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And I think he could hear too much or something. I don't know what it was, but
so he couldn't control his psychic powers anymore,
Yeah.
and he killed the rest of the X-Men. It was implied that he killed the other X-Men.
that's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then he would have these moments where the psychic energy would be too much, and it would like go out, and it would freeze everyone around him, and like make them forget what happened.
Yeah. And he had to keep giving him some
injections.
Yeah.
To suppress his mutant gene.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Next on the topic list,
Ghost Rider. So no Ghost Rider movie, unfortunately. We've already had 2 of those. Have you seen either Ghost Rider movie?
Yes.
Both?
I can't say I've seen the second one. I stopped it halfway.
So you started with the second?
No, I've seen the first one completely.
Okay.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
I tried to complete Ghost Rider 2, but I had to stop halfway. Have you seen them?
Oh, I've seen both of them, yes.
Before we go into the new Ghost Rider, the reason why I stopped watching Ghost Rider 2, or the scene specifically which I stopped watching it, he's pissing fire.
The flamethrower?
He's just pissing fire, and he turns around, looks at the camera, and goes, "Oh yeah!" And I was like, "Okay." Me and my brother, like, for God's sake, no, that's like.
And I saw that in 3D.
Oh,
so
God.
that was 3D fire piss.
It was literally like, I think like half hour into the movie or 20 minutes into it, and I was like, I can't stand this anymore. It's just they made him so stupid.
So there's parts of that movie that are ridiculous, but personally, I liked the second movie.
Okay.
I might be a little bit biased because it's by some of my favorite directors. They directed the Crank and Crank 2.
Oh, I like those movies.
So I think they did a good job in parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love some of the concepts. I love some of the shots. Nicolas Cage going crazy is always entertaining.
No,
I
it
love
is.
like
It
there's
is.
this one scene, and I'm gonna put it in the podcast for sure. But it's where he's interrogating a guy, and he's got him up against the wall, and he's like, you better tell me what I want to know, or else like I'm gonna let the Ghost Rider out, because like he's in human form currently. And he's like, and he starts like to freak out. And he's like, and like each time he does, you can kind of see the skull like starting to come out. He's like, he's scraping at the door. And he's doing like his Nicolas Cage freak out thing,
God.
and I love it. It's fantastic.
The last couple of days and a few hours ago. John?
You talked to Kerrigan. I talked to a lot of people. Hey, I got what you need for those shakes, my friend. Kerrigan must have told you about that thing that killed his men last night, huh? Yeah? That thing is inside of me. See, you're a bad man. And this thing, the Rider, he feeds on them, and he's hungry. He's hungrier than he's been in years, and that's why I'm shaking. Because right now, the only thing standing between you and the Rider is me. And he's scraping at the door! Scraping at the door! All right, if you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm gonna let him out. And when he's done with you, there won't be anything left. Do you understand? Do you understand? Shake your head, yes or no. Good girl. Where's Kerrigan? What's the kid? The kid Kerrigan! You will tell me, why would he just take it so good?
The glory! For God's poor man is putting together a goddamn army.
I know the place.
Oh my God. So
the first one I didn't like. I love the
I didn't
effects.
like the first
I
one.
like the effects and everything. I like how Ghost Rider was portrayed. There was some really cool parts in it, but overall, the fight sequences is what got to me. It was so shitty. Like, I mean, one of them, he just did the eyes thing that he does, the soul, whatever he does. Where he looks in a person's soul and he makes him realize penance. Yeah,
penance stare.
The other one, he's fighting with this water demon, whatever.
Yeah.
She takes him underwater, and he just transforms into Ghost Rider, and that's how she dies.
Yeah.
Like, and then the other one, like, there's only one that he fights with a chain. Like, those fights were so stupid. He would just either turn into Ghost Rider or do one thing, and the fight's over, and you're like, really?
Yeah.
So they didn't really portray Ghost Rider much. He was in Agents of Shield.
Yeah. Did you actually see him in Agents of Shield?
No, I haven't seen it.
So I'm gonna let you watch a clip because it's pretty awesome. I don't really watch
Agents
the show.
of Shield. Okay.
Yeah, but I saw this.
He has a car in this one,
I saw
right?
this clip.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
I gotta start watching this show.
So in this one, he doesn't have a bike anymore. I think that's the new comic one too, where he actually has a car.
Like that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put this clip in the
Podcast.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But like this looks fantastic.
yeah.
Like
car.
and the budget for this show must be pretty good because
Yeah.
the effects.
Yeah. It's not easy to make Ghost Rider like this.
No. Not
Or in
at
general, I think it's.
all. Oh. Yep. Oh. They're teasing it
Yeah.
and they're holding off for as long as possible.
Yeah. Who's this character?
I don't know who she is. You don't even get a good look at him. There we go. So let's move ahead a little bit. That is so
That's
awesome.
pretty cool. That's
yeah.
really cool. He looks scary.
Then that's what he's supposed to look. He's not
He's
supposed to look like
scary.
some idiot.
Yeah.
I love how he can make anything catch on fire, like
Yeah.
anything that he picks up.
He shouldn't smile. Like that was my issue with Ghost Rider 2, is that he like smiles and like winks and shit.
Oh, he's such a badass. The effects
effects
are
of this,
so
yeah.
good. Like just even the way that he's turning and the way the
Yeah.
flames move.
Yeah, it just looks so real.
Oh, he's got his chain.
This is the weapon that I think is Ghost Rider.
And that's his human form.
I don't know who the hell you think you are, but you just made a big mistake.
Funny. I was gonna say the same thing. Without the accent.
Robbie?
Take the stairs, find it anyways.
Oh, is that Gambit? Is it? I don't know. He can make weird things explode out of his hands. Oh.
It's time to pay for your sins.
Oh, I need to see how this
But
works.
he can.
Oh, that's... I was like, oh, they're gonna leave it at that?
But he seems impervious to fire, so maybe like.
He's got some kind of extra powers. Oh, that's...
I will be the last one to
I
die.
think
Oh, yeah, he
Storm.
can do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Cool.
That's
actually pretty cool.
That's the new Ghost Rider. I think he's pretty sick. I would love to see him back in
So-
the Marvel Universe.
It's the same guy doing the Oh, is there a movie?
No movie, unfortunately.
Wow.
But that's a character that I would love to see come back.
Yeah.
But the problem with Ghost Rider, and this is why he hasn't been much in the Marvel Universe, is that his enemies are all like demons.
Yeah.
And we haven't really crossed into that section of Marvel yet. We've been sticking with space aliens and superheroes and things like that. We haven't gotten into the hell aspect, because there is a hell aspect. There's Mephisto, there's Blackheart, there's
Yep.
all of those
Yep.
guys.
Ghosts
But-
and demons and.
Yep. Now,
Yeah.
so brings us to our last little topic of this segment, which would be if there's one, we'll do one DC, one Marvel. If there's one DC character you could have a movie of and one Marvel character that you could have a movie of.
Ooh, that's a tough one. So I always wanted a symbiote based movie, so I'm really happy that Venom's coming out, but we'll hold on that one.
Yes, that'll be for the next
Yeah.
episode.
But Marvel, I really want to see a movie about Carnage.
Oh, that would be...
I feel like he needs his own movie, or he needs to be
he
a
needs to
main
be the villain.
yeah.
Yes.
So I really hope Spider-Man uses that idea, because there's so much you can do with that arc with Carnage. He needs to be in a movie,
Yep.
and it needs to be done well.
Yep.
So if you need to take your time, take your time. Just make sure he's done well.
He could be in the Venom movie. We don't know yet.
Oh, that
But-
would maybe like I think it might be like a teaser trailer, if
Well,
anything.
We'll talk
Like, you know
about
what I mean?
that
You know what I mean?
in the
The
next episode.
after credit scene. Hopefully, maybe. Let's
Yep.
see. DC.
Yes.
I'm gonna think on that. Why don't you share what your thoughts are?
There's so many Marvel characters. It's really tough to kind of to pick one, because there's a lot of characters that have a lot of interesting backstories. Like personally, like when I was used to watch the animated series, Juggernaut was always a big character for me. Like, I loved him. Like his backstory of like he's just some archaeologist guy and he discovers the ruby, the jewel of Sidorak or whatever, and then it just goes into his chest and he becomes this huge, massive hulking guy. Yeah. But like he was Professor X's half brother.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh. So or stepbrother, one of the two.
Okay.
So they kind of grew up together and they had a history and a past. And I feel like seeing Juggernaut maybe go through that whole thing. Like I don't know how good of a movie it would make like just solely on him.
If it's Dwayne Johnson, it's fine.
I would. That's the thing. I would love to see him done right. Like he was so cheesy in X-Men 3. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, and you know they really played with stupidity. Like in the comics and the cartoon, he was pretty dumb, but I think they stupidified him.
They overblew him like big time. But there's so many X-Men characters to choose from that like so many that we're not seeing, and it's unfortunate. But one character in Marvel that I really want to see come in as a main villain is Onslaught. And I don't know if you're familiar with Onslaught, but what Onslaught is it's the dark sides of Professor X and Magneto's personalities combined to create this creature. So I'm going to pull him up. You probably will know him once you see him.
Yeah.
And that's what he looks like. I think he was the main villain. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel that would make an amazing villain for one of the upcoming X-Men movies.
He looks like an evil Magneto.
Oh,
like a hulking giant
exactly robot. And see, and you can see Professor X here like in his crazy freaking out mode.
I've read a couple of comics with him in it, but it wasn't too much, so I never really got a chance to go into his story too much. But I know that he's there. He's really cool. Even in the comic books, he's really strong. So that's one thing that good call actually.
Yeah,
good call.
So that's my Marvel pick. Now for DC. DC, that's tough, man.
And sorry, for Carnage, I always thought Tom Hardy would be a better Carnage than Venom. I don't know why.
I don't think so. You know who I think would make a good Carnage? I'll show you. What the heck is his name?
Jack Black.
Jackie Earl Haley. That's his name. This guy.
Oh, okay.
More when he looks like this.
Well, wasn't he in a movie?
Look at this article.
Oh, that's so funny. He was Rorschach. Yes, he was
exactly.
Rorschach. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good pick. Actually, I would totally see him as a.
So I think he would make a pretty good Carnage. Like if they decide to go in that direction, because he's got the voice, he's got the craziness to him, he's got the look too. Because Carnage is a ginger
looking. Ginger looking.
Oh yeah.
I feel like one of the underrated actors has always been Hank Azaria. I don't know if you know.
Let me look him up. It sounds familiar.
He's very nerdy. He's voiced a lot of Simpsons characters.
Okay, so that's where I know him from.
Yeah. I feel like if he did a psychopath role, he'd be. I think he's a great actor, by the way. I've seen him in a couple movies. He's always done like really side character roles.
Yeah.
So I've never seen him like in his full. But I think he is a pretty good actor. I think he'd be a good psychopath. And I think that's what you need to capture. Whoever actor plays Carnage needs to capture psychoticness.
I need to find out what he's in, because I don't think I've ever seen a movie with him in it, to be honest.
I've seen a couple. He was only a side character. One of them was the one I saw was Along Came Polly.
Oh,
but
okay.
He's a very, very side character. So,
because I'm trying to just look back here and
he's
see.
He's done mostly like
he's in anything.
Voices.
Yeah.
He's always done voices.
Oh, he's in Year One as well. Oh, Night of the Museum as well. Okay. Okay, so he has done a couple things where he's played.
He's a thug in Catwoman. Oh, he's done the voice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Dodgeball too, and Eulogy. I've never really saw that movie. Oh, he's in Friends.
Yeah. He's Phoebe's boyfriend who goes to somewhere in like the north on a scientific thing. Yemen or something like that. No. No, not Yemen.
And he's in Godzilla too. Oh man. Wow. Okay, so he is in quite a few things. Oh, he did the voice for
Eddie Brock Venom.
For Venom in the Spider-Man.
I think it was a great
The
voice.
one that I think this is the one that we all know and love. Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So he has a connection to it. I don't know. I really want him to see I really want him to be Carnage. I want to see him out in the big screen. So.
Oh, speaking of excellent casting choices, you cannot tell me that you can pick a better J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh my God, yes.
Like everything about
what's his name?
What's his name? He's in everything now. He's the Commissioner Gordon now.
Shit.
It's gonna bug me. I have to look it up. He's I just know him from Oz. I don't know if you've ever watched Oz, the prison show.
No.
But he was a big bad guy in that one. J. Jonah.
I like the one from the Tobey Maguire time. Is that what you're talking about, or who are you talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
J.K. Simmons.
Okay. He was an amazing J. Jonah. He's so funny. I found him the funniest.
He's
Honestly,
everything
he's
of J. Jonah
hilarious.
Jameson. Like, oh
Literally.
my God.
Yeah, he was an amazing J. Jonah. I thought that was like fantastically done. The way he talks fast, how like abusive he is, it was so funny.
Yep. Parker, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He just like everything.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
I loved him in Drumline.
I've never seen that movie, and
Watch it,
everyone's
it's
been
pretty cool.
recommending it to me.
It's a good movie.
I think I will check it out. But one other so DC. I'm trying to think.
DC's tough. Honestly, I feel like DC's really tough. I want to see Nightwing.
So Green Lantern. Oh, Nightwing. Is a good one.
I want to see Nightwing.
Nightwing is a good one.
Yeah.
So Green Lantern. They did have a movie, but it sucked, in my opinion. And wasn't really feeling it.
Ryan Reynolds.
So it wasn't him.
It wasn't
like,
him.
He was
It wasn't him.
fantastic.
It was just the way that they made it
writing
together.
Was shit.
And the outfit, the effects.
Yeah.
It
was crazy. So I really hope they redo it right this time around.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot of stuff in Batman to explore. So I don't know how far along you got in the Batman comics, but Batman has a kid. He has a son.
Yep. It was the new Robin.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
But he's like a very emo Robin.
Yes. Red Robin, I believe.
Red Robin.
And so so Batman got killed, quote unquote, by Darkseid. Darkseid. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Darkseid.
But and then his kid took over with Nightwing becoming the new Batman. But one character, so actually I'll split it into two characters that I would love to see in the DC universe come in from Batman specifically. I don't really, get too much into DC outside of Batman, to be honest. But Red Hood.
Red Hood. I was just gonna say. So Red Hood was Joker in the beginning, or something along those lines. There's some relation to.
So the Joker, the night that he was going to rob the Ace Chemicals plant or break in and whatever he's supposed to do for the mob, he wore the Red Hood outfit.
He wore the Red Hood
because there was no real Red Hood. It was a group of people.
It was an idea of a burglar, and they just whoever put the hood on. But I would love to see a Joker movie, and then kind of have a Red Hood in it. I think that would look really cool.
Yes, and so anyone who knows the comics history of Batman, or who's watched the Under the Red Hood movie, or who's played Arkham Knight, even Batman Arkham Knight, knows that Red Hood is Jason Todd, who was Robin number 2, I believe.
Yeah.
So Joker killed him. And because of some things that were happening in the DC universe, one of those crossover events, he came back to life. And when he came back to life, he came back as a villain. So he came back as the Red Hood, which was a really great story arc, in my opinion. I loved the character. I loved that they brought him back in that kind of a way. So second to that would be the character of Hush. Now, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Hush.
No, not with Hush.
So Hush is a character who was a childhood friend of Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
And his name is Tommy Elliott.
Okay.
And Thomas Elliott, the Elliott family was friends of the Wayne family.
Okay.
So Thomas's parents were friends with Bruce's parents. And one night, Thomas's parents get into a car accident, and they both die, and he's the only one left alive. So they bond over that, and then of course later on Bruce loses his parents, and so as the story goes, for whatever reason, Tommy is a psychopath.
Okay.
He set up his parents to be killed. And he becomes the villain known as Hush, and he goes, I'll show you what he looks like. Looks like that. So he's got bandages over his face. He's got the trench coat, and he always carries around 2 pistols with him. So he was a surgeon, basically. So that's why he wears the bandages and stuff, because he does surgery on himself to make him look like other people for whatever he needs to do. So the reason why I really love Hush is that he's one of those villains that, like, in comics where villains have this vague idea of, like, I'm going to get the money and then I'm going to, take over the world and then whatever. So he actually had a very smart plan, and his plan was that so what happened was after Batman got killed by Darkseid, whatever the hell, he changed his face. Hush changed his face to look like Bruce Wayne because he knew Bruce Wayne was Batman. So of course, after Batman died, Bruce Wayne went missing for a bit, and then all of a sudden Bruce Wayne turns up again. So obviously everyone in the Justice League is like, what the fuck? Obviously, how can Bruce Wayne be here? He fucking died. So he changed his face to look like Bruce Wayne. He took over Wayne Corp. He started pulling out of all the funds out of the Wayne accounts. And finally the Justice League stepped in, and they're like, who the hell are you? Like, what are you doing? We know you're not him. And then it turns out it was Hush. So they had to have someone keep an eye on him at all times. So that, he wouldn't fuck around. So basically it worked out for the Justice League because now they have a way to prove that Bruce Wayne isn't Batman. Right. Because Batman's gone, but Bruce Wayne's here. So that it worked out in the end. But, like, to me, that was such a realistic, smart plan to have. Like, obviously
he's a smarter character.
Yeah, than, like, smarter villain. Like, I'm surprised Clayface never did something like that. Like, he's got the shape-changing power or whatever. Yeah. Oh, God. So speaking of that, one of the things that really traumatized me as a kid was when I was watching the animated series, The Batman.
Okay.
The old one.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. With the him and Robin, the 90s.
Yeah, the one that was, like, really dark. This one.
That one, yeah. I love this one. Yeah.
So the episode where Clayface becomes Clayface really traumatized me as a kid. Yeah, because there's this guy, I think it was Roland Daggett.
Okay.
Roland Daggett.
By the way, I changed my answers to who I want to see in DC and Marvel. I'll get into that later.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so Roland Daggett was actually the bad guy.
Okay.
So basically there's this guy, he's an actor and whatever, and like they invent this serum that gives you youth and helps like get rid of wrinkles and imperfections and things like that, and you're supposed to use like a small amount, like, and put it on like makeup, right?
Okay.
So this actor gets in a serious car accident and like he gets all messed up or whatever, or at least this is how it works in the comics. But I think in the show he just pissed off the mob, and Roland Daggett, the guy who owned this formula or whatever, he was pissed off and he got into a fight with the actor, and he like knocked the actor down, and you can only see this scene like in shadow. They don't show it like the actual people.
Okay.
They show like against the wall the shadow of what's happening.
Yeah.
He's on the ground, and Roland Daggett takes the formula and pours all of it into the guy's mouth.
See, boy, wanted more of this stuff? And let's give it to him.
Oh, not that way. Please.
Let's give him all he'll ever need.
Wow.
Yeah, and like you can hear him going, and it's like as a kid, like that's super traumatizing.
Yeah.
And that's what turns it. And then next time you see him, he looks like this, like this clay monster guy, and it's like Jesus.
That is scary.
So that's speaking of things that randomly disturbs you as a kid. That's what fucking disturbed me.
Interesting. And Clayface is an interesting character too. Okay, so changing my answers to who I want to see a Marvel DC comic. So in Marvel, anti-hero Moon Knight.
Gay!
Oh God, really? Fucking, that's like F tier we're talking about here.
I know, but so I think he's actually a really cool character. He's anti-hero because he goes psychotic. Like I think it looks really cool, by the way. I think he needs more attention. I don't think he's like, I hate the fact that he's F tier. I feel like he's a really cool character, but again, he's very anti-hero. He's very dark. He's going crazy with his own powers.
Yeah.
I really think Moon Knight would be really cool, dark segment to Marvel. They're typically lighthearted, so I can see why he's not here. He's paired up with some really big Marvel characters.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him. I would love to see him done well.
You would really, I mean, let me tell you, like, you'd be dragging him out of the depths because, like,
I know he's not relevant. No one knows who he is, which is why.
And anyone who wasn't into comics in the early to late 90s probably has no idea what you're talking about.
They 100% know that not many people will know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, which is why I think he needs a little bit more attention.
Oh yeah. Oh, he could certainly use it right now.
Yeah, he's so irrelevant, but I think he's really cool. That is my Marvel pick because he's so unknown, but he's really strong. He's been in a lot of like main arcs. He's there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played the game Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It's an action RPG.
I did, but I never got through it.
So that's the only appearance he made recently that I can think of. But he's pretty cool. So that's my Marvel pick. For DC, there's a guy named Dr. Fate.
Okay.
He's really lame in terms of his story. He's got this whole magic shit going on. But again, I like the way he looks.
Jesus.
DC's a replication of Doctor Strange.
Okay.
So when they made Doctor Strange, it was really well done.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so he has pretty much the same sort of shit. It's like Green Lantern mixed with Doctor Strange. So there's this esoterical power.
Yeah.
It chooses like different people. Mostly it's been guys. There's been a time where a woman was it as well. But he's really involved in the comic book series, so people may recognize him more than Moon Knight. But he has cool magic powers. He's the Doctor Strange equivalent. I think that would make for a really fun movie to watch.
It's interesting. I've never really like. I know that as soon as I saw the character, I was like, okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But like, I've never seen him in anything.
I like masks. I like cool masks.
Yeah, yeah. I'll give you that one. It's definitely an interesting. I really hope they don't go with the costume, but
they would need to do something to make the costume a lot more appealing.
Make him not look like someone out of like Adam West era Batman.
Yeah. Again, if they go with the darker tone that they have gone with Batman, and they do like magic into it, so I think that'd make pretty cool. But yeah, so villains wise, I want to see Carnage.
Oh yeah.
Hero wise, I want to see Moon Knight.
Yeah.
The thing with Nightwing, the reason why I changed Nightwing is because I know he's gonna be coming up soon. Like we already had a little bit of a teaser with Joseph.
Really?
What's the name? Gordon, Joseph, whatever. I don't know. But it's a teaser that he's gonna be Robin or something. So you remember at the end of the
Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, he discovers the Batcave.
And
Joseph
his name
Gordon-Levitt. That's the guy.
And his name in the movie is Robin.
His name in the movie is
Robin John Blake.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So he discovers the Batcave. So,
yeah.
But then there was a lot of like, he's gonna be Robin. He's gonna be Nightwing. I think like they have Robin, and Robin eventually leads to Nightwing. So I know it's only a matter of time before Nightwing comes out. Dr. Fate.
And the tough. So as much as I would love to see Nightwing, the problem is that we haven't delved into any of the backstory of Batman so far.
Yeah.
So we don't know like there was ever a Robin, there was ever,
what happened with that?
Yeah, so to start a Nightwing standalone movie would either have to go under the assumption that everyone is familiar with the comics and the origin, or they'd have to gloss over the entire origin in like the first 15 minutes of the movie.
They would have to start a Robin series, and Nightwing would be like the finale. Like it would be like a 3-part trilogy, and Robin would be like the end of this movie too.
Yeah,
or what I mean, like,
or what I could see is that the Batman movie that we're supposed to be getting at some random point.
Yeah. He's just in there.
Yeah, exactly.
No explanation. He's just there.
Yeah, he's like in some fashion he's introduced there.
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't have the same background or story. Maybe he's just working independently and he's never Robin.
Yeah.
But
my whole thing with him is that his name is Dick Grayson. I feel like back in the day, there were a lot of people who called, Dick was a very common name back in the day, back when Robin was created. He would have to call himself Richard Grayson now. Because, I mean, if you, let's face it. Today, how many Dicks do you know today?
Yeah, well, I know a few, but none that would go by that name.
Oh, that's funny, mate. That's a good one, mate. But that's just my thing. I think Yeah, I think he's just a very funny character to introduce. There's a lot of backstory that needs.
Yep.
Just go with Dr. Fate. Just Doctor Strange that shit.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Like I'm totally down with the Nightwing suggestion. I would love to see a Nightwing movie. I think
you would like Moon Knight too. I'm telling you.
Oh my Jesus.
he's like a schizophrenic.
So one thing that I'm very disappointed about was how they handled Doomsday in the DC universe. I'm really pissed and disappointed that they wasted him in Batman versus Superman as that big
giant monster
thing
with no like sentient thought. It was just a rampaging monster.
It was stupid, and
that's not how Doomsday is.
It wrecked the whole like mythology of Doomsday, and it sucks because Doomsday is supposed to be such a important part of Superman's history, and they had a huge opportunity. So the problem is that like the only way that they could salvage this is if they brought Doomsday back in a later movie. I would love to see a better Doomsday.
Yeah, a proper.
Yes. Okay. So that's pretty much the rundown of what's going on in the Nerdverse today. So
let us know what you guys are into, which ones you want to see next, Marvel, DC.
Yeah, that's what we're hyped for. Yep. But let us know what you're hyped for. Let us know
who you would want to be hyped for. And let us know which characters you think. Let me know if you guys agree with Moon Knight. Does anybody like Moon Knight?
Does anybody know Moon Knight?
He's a dude fighting schizophrenia, and he has moon powers.
Can you elaborate on what moon powers are?
He throws moon crescents at people.
You serious?
This sounds promising already. Oh, I want to see this Batman. I don't even know what this is, but...
See, now we're just going through Google Images.
Anyway. But anyways, yeah, we're getting a little bit off track. So that's what we're looking forward to. Let us know what you're into. Let us know what nerd news you've heard, what you'd like us to cover. We'll take a look. We'll see what we can do. We love the suggestions.
Is Channing Tatum a good Gambit?
Yes. Let us know. Yeah, let us know what you think. Casting choices. Who would you put instead? So we really appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching us live, fantastic. If you're watching us later on YouTube, we appreciate that as well. So my name is Chris.
And I'm Sai.
And thank you for tuning in.
Good night.
Take care.